すみません。少し遅くなってしまいました。
No, that's, maid uniform after all, huh?
メイド服はメイド服でも、これは最近購入した外出用のおしゃれ着でして、胸元の赤いリボンもこう。
They all look the same! There's no difference! Okay, I get it. Actually, I can't see any difference whatsoever, but I suppose I'll have to take the maid expert's word on this one. Right then, as for the plan, we decided this pretty suddenly, so I have absolutely nothing.
やっぱりそうですよね。
So for today, I thought we could do whatever you feel like, Sachi.
私がやりたいことですか？
Yes, let her choose. Let her be the one that, you know, like gets out of her, I don't know what you want to call it, her shell maybe, and be the one to come up with like an idea. That's right, or a choice, you know. Even if it's cleaning the dorm or bayonet drills, I'm up for it. Whatever you feel like is fine.
そうですね。
I feel like this is a good move on Yuji, you know, try and, you know, help out Sachi. Instead of just agreeing with everything Yuji goes for, maybe she can bring up something that Yuji can agree on, you know? That's what I'm trying to get at. Sachi places a hand on her cheek, shuts her eyes, and begins to think the matter over. Oh, come on. Oh, come on, please. If nothing's coming to mind, you can say so.
すみません。私やっぱり自分から案を出すのは苦手みたいで。
It shows. Come to think of it, you told me the same thing back when I transferred in.
はい。
When she was a kid, Sachi used to constantly invent new games and drag me into them. It's probably safe to say this is another area of her personality strongly influenced by the trauma that incident, I almost said that, inflicted on her.
なので今日はゆうくんが普段していることを一緒にするというのはいかがでしょうか？
What, like literally doing nothing? My typical activities basically come down to training and reading. Might be a bit of a stretch to call that a date, don't you think?
それは大丈夫です。どんな内容でも私とゆうくんがデートだと思えば、それはもう立派なデートです。
Damn, dude, relationship goals right there, boys and girls. I see. Thanks to JB and Chisuru's incessant grumbling, I had a pretty fixed image of a date as something like dinner at an expensive restaurant with a skyline view. Versace's absolutely right. The important thing is what the experience means to the people involved, not whether it meets that arbitrary societal standard. Alright, in that case, why don't you tag along on my training today?
ありがとうございます。
Keep in mind, my training's no joke. This may be a date, but be sure to approach it with the utmost caution.
は、了解したであります。
Relationship goals. Are you ready, Ranger Komine?
はい。運動用のメイド服に着替えてきたであります。
God fucking damn it. 10 minutes later, as Sachi holds her rifle, her broom. Got it right there. In the classic shouldering position, I below my approval. Alright, well done. Also, you will respond to any further orders with an immediate hoo-ah. That clear.
レンジャー。
Okay, that is not hoo-ha, but whatever. Not bad, you squeal a bit better than your average stuck pig. We'll be starting off with a nice easy round of squat jumps. You know the drill?
以前インターネット上の動画で確認したことがありますです。
That's how I respond to, like, all the questions I get asked. Like, when I first started working at a restaurant, you know how to do this? And usually the answer is no, but usually it relates to the internet. Well, I guess not usually. Never mind. Huh. They say you're always prepared, Komane, and it seems like they're right. If you can't cut it as a ranger, you have a bright future selling cookies with the Girl Scouts. In deference to your shrewdness, I'll permit you to substitute the regulation 3.5 kilogram rifle for that broom of yours.
は、ありがとうございます、軍曹殿。
Alright then, your target for this drill is 30 repetitions. I hear you've been clambering down schoolhouse walls with those legs. Let's see what they can do.
レンジャー。
Again, I don't think that's how that... I don't know.
1、2、3、4。
Alright, and that's also how you count in Japanese. I actually kind of forgot all about that. Actually, what I really forgot about was counting in Chinese. And I guess a little bit in Spanish. I did take a Chinese course, and there were a few similarities in, like, you know, writing out the characters for the numbers for the first few, I think. Whatever. After offering her energetic assent, Sachi shoulders the broom behind her neck, jumps through the air from a low squat, and alternates her leading foot on the way back down. The movements vaguely resemble the well-known Cossack dance, but the need to leap all the way every time places a severe strain on your lower body. Ah, shit. As if to demonstrate, Sachi's movements quickly grow sluggish after her 15th repetition. What's the matter, Ranger? Coming in? Even a bottle blonde, twin-tailed pseudo tsundere could struggle through that much. Is that maid uniform just for show? Get moving. Again, not really sure on that. Yeah, this is something I would never do to my girlfriend. Like, I'm down to just, like, lie around and literally do the opposite of what these two are doing. Whoops. I turn around in response to a tap on my shoulder, only to find Amane standing behind me with an ominous glower on her face. Oh, if it isn't Amane, were you making Makina a snack or something?
いや、それはもう終わったから様子を見に来たんだけど、もしかしてこれがデートなの?
Hey, don't discriminate. That's right. Sachi asked if she could participate in some sort of my typical activities.
で、軍隊式トレーニングってわけ?
Yeah, everyone does it. Yeah, incidentally, the constant shouting helps develop your abdominal muscles. Did not know that. Makes a surprisingly big difference in the results of any exercise routine, in my experience. Give it a try if you ever get anxious about your waist.
それはどうも。って私が言いたいのはもっとデートらしいデートをしてあげてもいいんじゃないってこと。
I like how she's straight off. Don't follow, please elaborate.
だっていくら好きな人と一緒だからって軍隊の真似事みたいなことやらされて喜ぶ女の子がいると思う？
Maybe some people. Probably not that many, now that you mention it.
だったら普通に買い物したり映画を見たりした方が絶対いいじゃん。
I get your point, but Sachi did make the request.
それでももう少し気を利かせてあげてもいいと思うけど。
Oh my god, bitch, get out the way. In other words, in between drills, bend down and whisper loving words in her ear? Something like that?
そうじゃなくて、ユージなら読書もよくしてるんだから。
Okay, that's not a date.
とかでもよかったんじゃない?
That is not a date. I'm sorry, but boys and girls, that ain't a date. True enough, that sounds a bit more like a date. It doesn't.
ちなみに聞きたいんだけど、この後はどんな予定になってたの?
Well, a round trip over a one-rope bridge, followed by a rope climbing session, probably would have finished things off with a 10-mile rifle run. I like how we're pissing her off like this. Amane had kept her cool until now, but my latest response is followed by some violent trembling on her part. Something wrong? Need a bathroom break? Don't let me keep you.
ユージ、ちょっと来なさい!
Suddenly exploding with anger, Amane grabs my hand and starts yanking me fiercely along. Hold on, what are you trying to...
いいから、つべこべ言わずについてくる!
Yeah, I get the message, but we can't just leave Sachi training.
ごめん、さっちゃん。ユージのことを少し借りるから、ちょっとだけ待っててね。レンちゃん。それと、返事は普通に戻していいから。はい、わかりました。ついに、アマネが切れてるのさ。
I like how she kind of like pops out of nowhere.
マキちゃん、何食べてるの？アマネが作った乳糖ドーナツ。たくさんあるから、サッチも食べるといいのよ。
What?
ありがとう。で、豆乳ドーナツだよね、これ。
Yeah, I was gonna say.
で、ずいぶん落ち着いてるみたいだけど、彼氏が連れてかれちゃっても平気なのよ。あまねさん、何か用事があるみたいだし、仕方ないよ。そんなこと言って、あまねの用事がお兄ちゃんを食べちゃうことだったらどうするのよ?
Rest in peace, Kasumi Yuji got eaten by a... Yeah, never mind.
食べるとしたら、やっぱりもも肉とかかな。
Jesus Christ.
も マキちゃんだったらゆうくんはどこが美味しいと思う？やっぱサッチンはすげえな。
She's a serious person. We all know this. After a rough march to the rooftop, I'm forced to sit down on my heels under Amane's withering gaze of scorn.
こうして正座してもらってるのはユージに反省してもらうためだからね。
I did understand that much, yes. You're basically saying that squat jumping is inappropriate choice for a first date, right?
っていうか軍隊みたいな訓練全部いくらユージが変わり者だからってさすがに限度があるわよ。
Maybe you're right. Masashi seemed to be enjoying it in a way, didn't she?
それはさっちゃんが涙が出るくらいいい子だからであって、ステーキが大好きだけど卵かけご飯も食べられますっていうのと同じ原理よ。
I see. Nice analogy. I get it now.
それにユージならもっと女の子が喜びそうなところだって連れて行けたでしょ。
Well, I was considering inviting her to a meal at first, I guess.
やっぱりね。それならなおさらあんなデートになる意味がわからないわよ。
Amane glowers down at me, her eyes narrowed in an expression of transparent vexation. Among other things, this whole date idea was her suggestion. She seems truly and earnestly upset that it didn't go well. You have a point. I might have been taking advantage of Sachi's tolerant nature on this one. And for someone who understands how Sachi's mind works and why, that's fundamentally wrong, even when it comes to something as small as this.
ここからは本当に真剣な話なんだけど、ユージはさっちゃんがこの学園にいる理由を知ったんでしょ？
As she delivers the question in a slightly lower tone of voice, Amane's eyes bore searchingly into mine. What makes you say that?
とぼけても無駄。いくらさっちゃんが幼馴染だったからって何の理由もなくユージが付き合うことにしたなんて言い出すはずないもの。
Wow, Amane can actually be smart at times. Amane declares this without so much as a moment's hesitation. There's a flat, matter-of-fact certainty in her voice. In other words, this woman is absolutely confident that she understands me. Guess there's no point in pretending then.
やっぱりそうなんだ。
Yeah, I know about the incident that brought Sachi to the school, and I know about the trauma at the root of it all. On the basis of that knowledge, I thought long and hard about what I could do for Sachi as she is today, and ultimately, I decided becoming a couple would be an essential step in that process.
言ってることはわかるけど、それは本当に必要なことだったの？
I can kind of understand it. Getting halfway involved isn't going to cut it. The law Sachi's imposed on herself is too brittle and too dangerous for that. You all saw for yourselves what can happen if those shackles bind her too tightly, didn't you? Amane gently closes her eyes and holds her silence for a long moment.
じゃあ最後に一つ聞かせてほしいんだけど、何かしてあげたいって思ったのはユージがさっちゃんのことを好きになったから？
And why are we helping her? Like, Yuji was just gonna be like by himself, like he's just gonna focus on himself at this school, right? Or something like that. Like, why is he choosing to help her? Like, does he feel guilty? I bet the reason, like, we already know the reason and I just already forgot. And when her eyes open again, they communicate a serious warning. Don't even think about trying to dodge the question. To be completely honest, I don't really know whether I love Sachi or not. But I do know that I was drawn to her, or something she has that I don't. And I was completely serious about choosing her. I shut my eyes and honestly put my feelings into the clearest words I can. After a moment, I hear Amane sigh softly.
そっか。正直に答えてくれてありがとう。
Amane's always approached me with straightforward affection and kindness. In retrospect, I probably should have done her the courtesy of making this equally clear from the start. Alright, mind if I ask you a question of my own?
いいけど、どんなこと？
What is Sachi to you, Amane?
もちろん、大切な友達に決まってるじゃない。
Once more, her response comes without a moment's hesitation. A friend, huh?
だってさっちゃんはすごくいい子だし、さっちゃんがいてくれて助かったことも楽しかったこともたくさんあるもの。 だから私以外の誰に同じ質問をしても絶対同じ答えが返ってくるって私は思ってるけど。
I believe it. As she says those words, there's an almost proud smile on Amane's face. Anyone who saw that expression would instantly know those words aren't merely polite flattery. Good to hear. I'm all the more convinced now. Mumbling more to myself than Amane, I finally ease off of my heels, flopping down cross-legged onto the warm concrete.
それってどういうこと？
Well, to put it simply, right now, I think Sachi needs people like you more than anything else in the world.
ごめん、ユージの言ってることがよくわからないんだけど。
Well, that's alright. It's more convenient for me than that way.
何よそれ。それじゃあ私が納得できないってば。
Alright then, something complicated. Since you called Sachi your friend Amane, I want to ask you for a little favor on her behalf.
頼み？
That's right. If you really care about Sachi, I want you to keep treating her exactly as you have until now.
今までと同じって、そんな普通のことでいいの？
I don't think anyone in this place, myself included, has had nearly enough of that sort of ordinary in their lives. I'm not trying to say that it's as simple as that, but what Sachi needs right now is to realize what she has. My answer is purposely a bit on the, I don't know what the hell that is side. Not exactly the concrete explanation of my plans Amane was clearly looking for, but without a single complaint, she quietly searches for the meaning of those words on her own.
わかった。そうすることで私も何かを手伝えるって言うなら。
Thanks, homie.
でもそれはユージに言われたからとかじゃなくて、さっちゃんの友達として当然のことなんだからね。
Yeah, thank you, Amane.
ユージってそんなに素直にお礼が言えるんだ。
So glad I didn't choose your route. You are so much of a bitch. You say something?
なんでもない。
When I say that stuff, by the way, guys, I'm obviously joking. Alright.
それとさ、ユージは気づいてないかもしれないけど、さっちゃんと一緒にいる時のユージ、笑ってることが多くなったよ。
What?
ユージのことをずっと見てきた私が言うんだから間違いないって。
Putting a hand on her hip as she speaks, Amane flashes me a smile that's just a little too spirited to be fully convincing. Amane.
じゃあ、ユージへのお説教タイムはここらで終わりにするとして、頼み事をされた私の方からもユージに一つだけお願い事。
And what would that be?
私を振って別の女の子を選んだからには、さっちゃんのことちゃんと幸せにしてあげてよね。
Of course, dude, she's waifu material. With a little wink, Amane promptly turns on her heel and leaves the rooftop. Look at me, getting the full kid gloves treatment from a woman. Amane's got a lot more delicacy than you'd guess. And while I don't want to suggest her gender gives her some universal insight into the female mind, she's taught me a lot of things in her role as unofficial ambassador of young women. I smile more when I'm with Sachi, huh? I hadn't even been aware, but maybe the reason I chose Sachi had something to do with that as well. Either way, I've already found myself indebted to my classmates' insight and kindness. For once, it seems Chizuru's advice might have been genuinely worth listening to.